Okay.
BB.
BB's up. What's up, BB? He says, should I delete the person schema when there is organization schema? It depends. Like what, and it depends on where, like how the schema is being used, on what type of, in which situation, like what are you marking up? For example, if it's like blog, article markup for a blog post or a news release or whatever, it depends. Like there's a section for the author and then a section for the publisher. And if you want to designate a person and you have your schema connected properly, right? It's called nested schema or connected data items, or there's a number of terms for it. But if you have it connected correctly, then you would list the author, which would have person schema for the author, if you want to do it that way, and then the publisher as the organization, which is organization schema, and all of that is nested correctly. And again, it depends on what you're doing. Most of the time for the articles that I mark up, I'm using the organization as the publisher and the author. So I don't use person schema. But it depends. Again, if you're branding a person, a professional, for example, then you might want to use their person schema. So the standard SEO question without more context, or the standard SEO answer, excuse me, without more context is always, it depends. It depends on the situation, what you're marking up. I know, BB, from your question last week, if you're not connecting the schema correctly, then you can ambiguate the main entity of the page to begin with. So you got to be real careful about, if you're using schema and you're marking things up, that you do it in the proper way. Having different, different schema types on a page, but not nested correctly or connected properly, can actually create issues, right? So it can confuse the bot, and that's what you don't want to do. And I was doing that wrong for quite some time. I'm not going to lie. I just recently started learning about how to do it correctly, thanks to Rob and the POFU Live training. So, but I would say, yeah, it's just really going to depend. Marco, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, parent-child, you're always going to have an organization that's full of people. And these people are each going to have some kind of whatever it is you want to call it, or whatever their job is, whatever the position is inside the organization. And if that's the case, and if you want to, go into that much detail, you can. So you should have person schema within the organization schema. What is their job? What is their function within the organization schema that you're building? And if there's no place for a person to be used within that organization schema, then don't try to push that in just because you want a person schema within the organization schema. So as Bradley said, it depends on what function that person has within the organization, or I'll say again, the parent-child relationship. And then if it's on a page, what that person's relationship to that page is within also the organization.
Yeah.